What's up, everybody? Benji again. I'm going to show off another one of my favorite builds, and it's one of the ones that I want to say got me kind of into the hobby. I mean, who doesn't find this saber eventually? If you search lightsabers, it's the first one as like a novice, somebody you don't really know. Lightsabers um, you see it everywhere, and you're like, that's crazy out of ordinary. Which is a Starkiller. So I have a 2.0 Starkiller. I have this thing with 2.0s. I just love taking a Graflex 2.0 kit and just chopping it up and making it something that has, I mean, it's the perfect base, in my opinion, for a lot of different types of builds. I mean, it's got everything that I personally like, which is, red buttons, bunny ears. I mean, whenever you see the Star Wars influences in lightsabers, it's the Nyx or Graflex. I mean, that's a go-to. But I was a huge fan of the 2.0 Starkillers, and when I started this project, it's been about a year or two, maybe. It took a long time for me to do, just because I took my time. I redid a lot of pieces. I kept on going over and over. Like I went through like 3 different shells, just messing up a cut and being like, that's not good enough. Start over again or changing my mind. But it took my time. I really spent a lot of time on this one, and I wanted a 2.0 Starkiller, and back then there wasn't really that many Starkillers, like TFU1 Starkiller exposed crystal chamber, available. I mean, Saberforge had theirs, and if you really wanted to drop the cash and get a couple different custom makers, like Cargill had one that was really cool, but I'm not gonna go into Cargill. And that's a whole thing that I think everyone's dealing with. I don't really know anything about it other than hearsay. But he made some amazing Starkillers, just beautiful work. And so Christian Gale, obviously, huge influence. Seeing his 2.0 Starkillers, I was like, I've got to have one of those. I've got to do one of these days. So I got the kit. It's 2.0. Cut it up. Went to town, but I spent a lot of time doing it. I didn't find the Starkiller Facebook group for a little bit, and then once I did, it was just like, boom! I gotta step it up and finish this thing. Sadly, though, I got a little impatient and just used what I had at the time, because during the year or so that I was working on it, Smooth Swing came out, and everyone's raving about Profi boards, and I was like, I'm gonna wait until it dies down a little bit. Maybe I need to learn more about it, because I still haven't installed Profi myself. Just CFX. I've had a couple CFX boards that I've installed, but I decided I'd wait, and I'm even waiting for the Verso. Also, there's just there's so many boards. The longer you wait, the more the Smooth Swing is available for everyone. You'll have to be specific to Profi boards. Not to like knock on Profi boards. I have one that a friend of mine installed. I will do a video on later, and it's awesome. It's just really cool board. Me personally, I know a lot of people get like, I was thrown off at first. I know a lot of people do with the programming. There's a lot to take on when you look at it. You're just like, this is it's more than plug it in and change some fonts. Like, you gotta really look into it and get it down before you start pumping them out. So, long story short, I used a Prism board that I got for cheap, used by a friend in the groups, and I was like, you know what, whatever, I'll upgrade it later. But I was tired of this Starkiller sitting empty on my desk, so I jumped the gun. I'm not disappointed in it. I mean, Prism has been one of my favorite boards for a long time. The Prism 5.0 is what I have here, or the 5.1, I forget. I think it's 5.0. But I love it, man. I have quite a few, and I always said back in the day too that if it had Smooth Swing, that's it for me. I don't really need. Excuse me. I really don't need the crazy blade profiles and all that stuff. It's cool. It's really fun, but I always find myself going back to my same settings. Like, I just want it to pulse and flick and flicker and like cut on, cut off. I want to be able to customize it just a little bit, but I always go back to what I love, which is a steady pulse. But yeah. Anyways, let's get to it. This video's already getting in there. I've got another box you guys know, maybe on the groups, maybe not on this page just yet, but I like making custom boxes. This one I went with an Imperial cog. One of my first few Imperial cogs. Yeah, it took me a minute. It's always a process, but you know, you get a good one in there. It looks pretty good. I carved it up because I was like, you know what, let's just go ahead and scratch it up. And it's kind of hurts my soul a little bit to just carve straight across the symbol that you just finished meticulously carving into and making it pretty, and then making it not so pretty. So I got my padding underneath, which makes the box feel, ooh, it just feels good. It feels sturdy, and that's what I'm talking about. Nothing rattling around in there, because I also put custom padding in there, and it snug fits the Saber. And there she is in there. Yeah, look at that, right? Some good stuff. All right. Put that down for a second. So, what we have here is my 2.0 Starkiller Graflex Korbanth kit. The pommel, bars, control box is from Ray Fleet at Texas Custom Sabers. I actually had a chance to meet Ray Fleet about 2 years ago at a convention. I film a lot of conventions for work, and I get to go to these just all over the United States, just conventions, comic conventions, you name it. And I get to bump into all these people that I know online, Facebook groups and stuff like that. And it's a pleasure. Like every time I'm like, hey, what's up? Like, you know, you're the reason why I started building some of this stuff, or what have you. Celebration, I got to meet a lot of cool people. But Ray, I got to meet in person. He's one of the first people that I talked to as far as community-wise. And he's just a super cool dude. So whenever he posted he was doing a run of pommels and control boxes, that's when I was like, it's time to do the Starkiller. Jumped on it immediately. Loved the pommel. Pommel was great. Slides over the existing body for the 2.0, and the control box is awesome. I mean, it was fast. Ray's awesome. Stand-up dude. So I got that. I kind of grinded the bars down a little bit to make them a little bit more low profile. This piece right here, I wanted to do. Sometimes people leave it, or they put a copper or brass, whichever one, ring around here. You know, you cut it up, because essentially you cut the Graflex clamp in 4 different pieces, depending on how you want to do it. I also cut. This is some kind of aluminum. It's very thin because I wanted it to match up with the same width as the clamp, so it's not really raised. It's very fluid, but it gives you a gap here and a gap here, so you can get more of that black detail in there. So that was really fun. And then I got these bars from Cloud City Sabers from Jeremy. Awesome, super awesome dude. Pumped them out like that. I mean, I had them like in like a day or so. I mean, I know he's got, you know, he's always pumping out Starkiller stuff, but I love him, man. He gave me a set, got a couple cut up, put them in there, and you know, of course I tweaked them a little bit. These ones I actually cut a little shorter, and then I put in a different bar, like a different diameter, a smaller like aluminum, I'm sorry, just a brass bar that I had. It fit in perfectly. It's like a 440 inner diameter inside the bars, just at the end. It's threaded on the end, which is cool what he does, but I didn't need it to thread in because I just JB welded these bars onto the holder, and then deep down in there on the blade, I used the not blade, the 7/8 inch heatsink for my crystal chamber. Some Graflex buttons in there. Can't really see it too much right now, but I'll get the light on here in a second. And then these rods, I got 2 little pin rods, bars that come up, and I got those from Clint Morrison Game Machine. And he did a run, he had a couple of them, and I was like, At least I believe it was Clint. I'm very sure it was. It's been a while. I bought them a while ago. But he had a bunch and he was doing it and I bought a bag. It was great. I had a bunch of them. I've reused them for a bunch of different things. There's a couple of my Crystal Chamber Sabers have them in there. And I just love them. Yeah. Custom blade plug. Did the cut. Did mine a little different. First few were definitely different. Then I just kind of wanted to do more of a up slant instead of a straight diamond or triangle that we usually do, just to kind of stand out a little bit, do something a little different. I've seen it before and I was like, you know what, I like that, I want to do that. So just to mix it up, and that took some time. Alright, the prism is used, and for some reason it does the beep like it's not loading right. Like there's a beep before, or when you boot it up there's a beep and then the boot sound. I've reformatted, I've retried, I've done a ton of things. At this point, it's whatever. It's just something that is there. I mean, I could probably fix it, but I'm not gonna, because I'll probably be upgrading this to CFX in the future. But for now, I mean, why not just love it? The chassis by Robert Sotomayor. Got off my friend Joe. Works perfectly. Yeah, so everything is just JB welded. And, I mean, this thing is just, it's a show saber. I'm not really going to be dueling with my 2.0 Graflex, or I mean 2.0 Starkiller. I mean, this is for show, which most of my sabers are. Anyways, we'll bump it up and let's see what it is. Prism has 6 sound fonts, as you guys know. Look at that. Quartz crystal. Quartz crystal looks great with that red. Custom NeoPixel blade. Look at that. I mean, what's up, you know? So, I mean, even without smooth swing, I mean, that's, I tweaked the settings.
Strike me down. It is your destiny.
I'll have some TFU on there. It's just anything I could find that was Starkiller I threw on here. I didn't really get too crazy on, like, that's in the second game, this is the Sabers from the first game. Whatever. Look at that. That's some good stuff. I'm a fan of this font. I forget what it is. I think it's a TFU actually. The Starkiller. I could be wrong. Normally I'm really good on my fonts, but I could be wrong.
I will eliminate you. It will be over quickly.
Oh, I got it on green. Somebody was playing with this before I was. I usually keep them on just red and blue. I don't know why. Red and blue for Starkiller just seems right. I mean, I know we get crazy and we go with all the different colors in the game. I don't mind that either, but let's go for purple real quick. Look at that. Oh yeah, and I don't know if you can see, there's a little grill behind it. Maybe not. Camera's not really picking it up that much. Oh, there you go. Why not? Alright. And then I have, so I have the heat sinks are what holds the for the chamber. It has 2 7/8 sinks because they fit in there perfectly, so why not? It has 2 Graflex thumb screws that grip the crystal. And then I was able to get one of these. I think I might have one somewhere. One of these little PCB. I don't know if you can see it. NeoPixels, and that's run in line, so it matches the blade color. And worked great. It sat in the bottom, and I found a little rubber like housing, or like a gasket, a little tiny rubber gasket. Like everything fit perfectly, and I just saw that as a sign that I was like, all right, we're done. Because I mean, it keeps it from shorting out. It's perfect spaced, perfectly protected. It's great. And the bars were black. I did like brass black. I did aluminum black. I clear coated. I did all this stuff, but just wear and tear wears down that black. I mean, until I find a black bar or something better, this is just whatever. I can keep redoing it, but I mean, it's kind of, I like it. It's enough. Oh, we got that Vader. Yep. Got that Vader font. See, I mean, even without smooth swing, this thing is just, it's still good. It still sounds good.
I bring Darth Vader's enemies to justice.
The blue.
Accept your fate. Give in to the dark side.
Alright. Let's get this blade plug out here. There we go. Custom blade plug. Just use one of those little razor, that people use. I just wanted something simple and low and easy to do. Very, very short. Blade depth's not really that big. But 7/8 inch blade. I got it to like, I think maybe 32 inches. It's really not the longest blade. And I like that. It just, for me, swinging it around, it works enough. I'm not, like I said, this is a show saber, so it don't really do much for me. And I made the blade myself. Kind of a pain, but woo! Let's go do the colors real quick. Yeah, like look at the amber there, yellow, pretty good lime green, I guess. I think most of the fonts I took off the blaster bolts because sometimes I just like it to like blind you. That's just me though. Again, personal preference. Ooh, that looks good on camera. See, that's what I'm talking about. Red or blue, man. This is Starkiller. I don't know what this salmon color's for. It's like a pinkish red. And back to red. There we go, one more time. See that crystal. Crystal matches the blade. Alright, cool. That was fun. Because why not? So yeah, anyways, another long video. I don't see how anyone can really make these videos any shorter. Maybe I just talk a lot. But I mean, I don't talk to anybody about these other than online. So you guys are you are at my mercy. Listen to what I have to say. Listen to my obsessions. But yeah. There we go. One day we'll upgrade it to Profi or NeoPixel, but for now, it ain't broke. I'll fix it. Alright guys, appreciate you so much. I'll see y'all in the next video.